It's not just China where the new pandemic virus cases are rising rapidly. Cases are rising all over the world. First, just check some numbers. In global COVID surge, 11 million new cases reported in last 7 days. 8% increase in critical care cases, 43,000 new deaths. Source of the data is WHO website from 7th to 13th March 2022. So, if you still think the pandemic is over, unfortunately, you are living in a fool's paradise. Let's check what WHO says all about this.
These increases are occurring despite reductions in testing in some countries, which means the cases we're seeing are just the tip of the iceberg. And we know that when cases increase, so do deaths. Each country is facing a different situation with different challenges, but the pandemic is not over. I repeat, the pandemic is not over.
So, as per the WHO, the pandemic is not over and it's just the tip of the iceberg. This time, there is no epicenter for this outbreak. The numbers are rising almost everywhere. Take a look at the Western Pacific. This includes countries like Australia, China, South Korea and Japan. Cases have risen 25% and death rate increases 27%. In last Thursday, South Korea reported more than 60,000 new cases, highest daily caseload since the pandemic began. The daily death rate also hit a national record of 429 deaths in just 24 hours in South Korea. In Africa, cases have risen by 12% and deaths have gone up by 14%, where Europe's data is interesting. Cases risen by 2% but deaths are still at the same levels, although Germany is struggling. In the last 24 hours, they reported more than 260,000 cases in a day, which is again the highest daily caseload since the pandemic began. Now, those are numbers, but what is deriving those numbers is premature declaration of victory. Europe started it. Their leaders talked about living with COVID. On 27th of the January, Britain lifted all restrictions, nightclubs, bars, restaurants, everything was reopened, plus masks were no longer compulsory. Britain was followed by Denmark, the Netherlands, France, and in last month, Germany, they lifted all pandemic controls. Now, who are suffering? Leaders or common people? This time we have to think about it. I know, world is desperate for normalcy. Endless lockdown are not an option anymore. I know that whatever we all have achieved against COVID is an important milestone, a big victory against the pandemic. But the victory cannot be gambled. Worldwide, schools are now reopened. Children are heading back to classes without vaccination. Going by this trend, America and India could be the next. Researchers and several models are projecting a huge fourth wave of COVID-19 will hit all of us around the month of June 2022. In the US, experts are tracking wastewater samples. Now, this is one way of predicting the next wave via wastewater samples. If you find virus traces in the wastewater, the chances are the next wave is imminent. So, what the Americans found? The samples in the US shows a 38% rise in pandemic virus traces. So, probably we have 2 months to witness the new surge of the new COVID variant, maybe via a variant like Omicron BA-2 or any new variant like Deltacron. You might hear populist slogans like "Live with COVID," but those slogans are not an excuse to let your guards down. Always remember, Your life is in your hand, and it always better to follow few safety guidelines rather than staying in ICU beds. Please don't panic, but don't let your guard down. Take vaccination and follow safety guidelines. It's your life. See you in the next video. Keep watching the channel Health for All for the latest and most updated health related information and medical treatment options. Till then, take care, be happy and stay healthy. Ta-ta.